Wasn't strong, if I wasn't able to stand up and have maybe the backing of a gang or be able to beat on someone, there's a good possibility that I could not get to use the telephone. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Couldn't use the phone. If you couldn't hold it, you couldn't use it. That's the rules. That was the rules.
Do you think that's the way it is across the board in prisons?
Well, I don't know what it's like anywhere else in the prisons, but the prisons in New York right here, that's how it is. You know, when you want to get on the phone, you got to be able to fight for some time. You know? And I know it sounds kind of bad, but that's how it was.
Now, what's the worst thing personally for you about being incarcerated?
Well, the worst thing is, well, it's being away from my family, not knowing, you know, knowing how the streets is, and not being able to be there to protect them. And being here, and my life being on the line, you know, facing, you know, different types of mentalities, not knowing when somebody going to snap. You know, and that right there put me in a position I may catch another charge just defending my own self.
Have you ever been in lockdown for a few days?
Yes.
How long?
I've been locked down 8 months.
Locked down 8 months? Is that 23 hours out of 24?
Right.
You're talking about being in the bin?
Being in the bin.
Being in the bin for 8 months.
Right.
23 hours a day with what? 1 hour in the yard?
That's it.
What's that like?
You get used to it, you know. I mean, at least you feel protected, because you know you confined to yourself.
In other words, as bad as it is being in lockdown 23 hours out of 24, it's not so bad because you feel safer and protected, less fear of death, a knifing, a fight, possible AIDS from a bite. Is that what you're saying?
You can say that, right. Feel more protected. And at that, you know, you contribute more time to yourself. You know, you really get to find out who you are and being confined like that. You know.
So it's not only coming into the prison house and having a small cell and just a toilet and a sink, but you're saying it's the fear of others that surround you, the everyday fear of the knifings, the fights, the potentiality for death, from a bite, from AIDS, those types of things. What about the bitterness and the anger and the hostility? Do you come in the prison house, and walk out sometimes a different person?
Yes, you can walk out a different person. You can either walk out a better person, or you can walk out worse than you came in, because of the people that you begin to socialize with. You know, if you socialize with people that constantly sit around and plot and plan to go back out into society and do the same thing, and you end up hooking up with them, and that's what you plan to go and do. But some people come here and when they in here, they really get themselves together and they change their thinking and they change their hearts, and they go out there in society and try to be successful.
Now, is there a real friendship in prison? I mean, camaraderie, laughter, trust, or do you find the opposite in the prison house?
There's trust. There's trust amongst just the groups of people, certain groups of people that click together. They have a trust, because if the police come running on you, you know, you're looking for your clique to run down with you, you know. So you ain't looking for nobody else to back you up. So, you know, you got to trust them with your life, because you ain't trying to get no beat down, you know. You know, I mean, for you to go out there and use the phone, you know, you can get stabbed, you can die. To go out there to turn the TV, you can get knifed in the back or get a chair upside your head. To go to the gym or to the yard, you always on the watch. So because they have all these things doesn't mean that it's a fun-filled thing, you know? It's like every day. See, me, I go to the yard sometime, but, I mean, it's like I feel like this. It's a do-or-die situation, you know?
You mean in the yard?
Anywhere.
In the yard can be a very dangerous place? Is it a very volatile place? I mean, you never know?
it's so big, and you know, people walks around with their shanks on them, so it's so big, anything can happen.
And a shank is a knife, a weapon, a knife.